Very good evening to you and welcome to tonight's edition of Primetime News, coming to you live from the Newsfirst studios here in Colombo. My name is Krishan Devasagayam.
And I'm Vihara. Let's have a look at your headlines for tonight.
The headlines on Newsfirst.
Suresh Salley transferred to the cardiology unit at the Colombo National Hospital to be examined for a pre-existing medical condition. Senior Assistant Secretary attached to the Presidential Secretariat, who is accused of forging a passport for Nitya Gudaraju, remanded. Do not panic when the truth is being revealed. Minister Susil issues a warning to politicians with double standard. First round of discussions aimed at resolving compensation claims related to the Express Pearl disaster through negotiations has concluded. Further talks expected. The Sirasa Poson zone launched at the Angi Rasa International Buddhist Center in Mattala. And in your top story tonight, Suresh Salley, who is currently receiving treatment at the Colombo National Hospital, has been transferred to the cardiology unit for further examinations related to a pre-existing heart condition.
The former State Intelligence Service Chief, who was arrested under the Prevention of Terrorism Act or PTA, remains under special medical supervision at the hospital while in custody.
There is a condition and he has been put into the high-risk category because he could suffer chest pains quite often. All these authorities are just waiting for Suresh to die. That's the easiest option for them. We're not asking for the investigations to be stopped. We're saying carry out the investigations properly. The fast will not be stopped.
Meanwhile, Pradeep Kumar Dhanapala, a senior assistant secretary at the Presidential Secretariat, has been remanded until the 30th of June.
He was arrested in connection for allegedly preparing a fake passport for an organized criminal, Sobana Hambisanath Silva, alias Nitya Raju, to facilitate his escape from the country.
Senior Assistant Secretary of the Parliamentary and Cabinet Division of the Presidential Secretariat, Pradeep Kumar Dhanapala, has been accused of facilitating the preparation of a fake passport under another person's name to enable an organized criminal to flee the country. Investigations have revealed that the offence was allegedly committed while he was serving as Deputy Controller in the Foreign Missions Division of the Department of Immigration and Emigration. The suspect, a 41-year-old resident of Kandy, was remanded until the 30th of June after being produced before Maligakanda Acting Magistrate Yasanta Pereira. Further investigations are being conducted by the Human Trafficking, Smuggling and Maritime Crimes Investigation Division of the Criminal Investigation Department.
Minister of Housing, Construction and Water Supply, Dr. Susil Ranasinghe, says the arrest of former Minister Dr. Vijaydas Rajapaksa's son, Rakita Rajapaksa, and Samagi Janabalawegaya Horana electoral organizer, Charita Besinghe, highlights the scale of the criminal network operating in Sri Lanka. The three suspects, including attorney-at-law Rakita Rajapaksa, were arrested yesterday over allegations of accepting a 120 million rupee bribe from organized criminal Harak Kata. People we could not have even imagined have been arrested regarding extortion cases. Who would have thought commissions in millions would be taken? 120 million rupees. Is this a simple matter? The son of a former justice minister. Is this simple? This was a person close to former presidents. Is that a simple case? And the bribe was taken from a major player in the underworld and drug trade. This is not simple. Not at all. These allegations are not confined to one party. On one side, it is linked to the SLPP camp, on another to groups associated with Ranil Wickramasinghe, and now to the SJB as well. So despite their different political identities, there appears to be a common network underneath. People are told different stories based on ethnicity, religion and communities to influence voters. Farmers are told one story, rural communities another. Promises of development are made. Small projects like roads and canals are used to gain votes. Once power is secured, the system continues to operate unseen. The people cannot see that. The serious issue we are facing now is, where exactly was this country before? We saw how for 75 years, successive governments operated in a system that supported and protected criminals and looters. What have these leaders done to the rule of law? We know this country was completely under the politics of the underworld. Then came the state officials who were aligned with the underworld. Below them, the judiciary, the police, the criminal investigations department and the bribery commission were all well positioned under that structure. This is the kind of country the public came out and protested against, pushed out the former leadership and gave a mandate to the current president and his team. Now, gradually, these influences are being removed. Today, as the judiciary, the police and the bribery commission are operating independently, those who once undermined the rule of law and committed crimes are now being arrested one by one.
මෙන්න මේ වගේ නීති ආධිපත්‍ය කෙලසපු අපරාධකාරයන්ව අද එකිනෙකා අත්අඩංගුවට ගන්න තත්ත්වයට පත් වෙලා තියෙනවා.
The committee appointed to address the damage caused to the country's marine environment by the Express Pearl fire says it has begun negotiations.
Accordingly, one round of talks has already been held with representatives of the vessel's owner and its insurance company.
The committee was appointed in April this year under the chairmanship of K. Vimalenthi Raja, Secretary to the Ministry of Trade, Commerce, Food Security and Cooperative Development. Other members of the committee include 4 representatives from the Attorney General's Department, the Chairman of the Sri Lanka Ports Authority, the Chairman of the Central Environmental Authority and the Chairman of the Marine Environment Protection Authority. In addition, the Director General of the Ocean Affairs, Environment and Climate Change Division of the Ministry of Foreign Affairs and an expert from the Nara Institute are also included.
World Environment Day was celebrated just 22 days ago. Yet it has now been 5 years since one of the worst environmental disasters in Sri Lanka's history, a catastrophe that stunned environmentalists worldwide and continues to leave a lasting impact on the country's people, coastline and marine ecosystem.
Now, 5 years ago, nearly 2,000 metric tons of plastic was released into Sri Lankan waters following the Express Pearl disaster, widely regarded as the largest marine plastic spill in recent history.
The Express Pearl disaster that occurred in the Sea of Sri Lanka caused devastating damage to the coastline, marine ecosystem and the people of Sri Lanka. While the scale of this catastrophe cannot truly be measured in rupees or dollars, the estimated damage is currently valued at around $6.4 billion. Even 5 years after the incident, no meaningful or comprehensive resolution has been reached. A submission recorded in the Supreme Court on the 5th of February last year highlights the lasting impact of this disaster.
Your Honour, the harmful effects caused by the release of chemicals from the MV Express Pearl, which caught fire and was destroyed in Sri Lankan waters, will affect not only the present generation but also future generations of Sri Lankans.
This statement was made by Senior Attorney at Law Himali Kularatne during the hearing of the fundamental rights petitions filed over the environmental damage caused to the marine ecosystem and fishing communities. What exactly happened? On the 15th of May 2021, the Express Pearl vessel arrived from Hazira port in India. It carried 25 metric tons of nitric acid along with other hazardous chemicals and 1,486 containers of cosmetic and industrial raw materials. On the 19th of May, the ship arrived near the Colombo port and remained anchored about 9.5 nautical miles from the harbour entrance. The fire broke out on the 20th of May. However, a nitric acid leak had already been detected on board the ship earlier. Although requests were made to offload the leaking container at Hazira port in India and Hamad port in Qatar, permission was denied, citing a lack of adequate facilities to handle hazardous cargo. Did the Colombo port have such facilities at the time? Despite knowing about the leak for 9 days, no effective action was taken according to investigations. Even the then minister in charge of ports reportedly visited the control room and issued instructions on firefighting operations. 13 days after the fire broke out, the vessel was completely destroyed and it sank. In addition to nitric acid, the ship carried numerous containers of plastic pellets used as raw material for plastic production. These were released into the Sea of Sri Lanka after the destruction of the vessel. It is estimated that around 1,680 metric tons of plastic pellets entered the Sea of Sri Lanka. Fish, turtles and whales began washing ashore, dead. More than 200 dead turtles were found. The environmental damage is unfathomable. Has compensation been paid? So far, only limited compensation has been provided, mainly to fishermen and for beach cleanup operations. In a case where compensation is expected to exceed $6 billion, how did this happen? Was this covered up through bribery? Or did those responsible for taking proper action accept kickbacks instead? Allegations have also been made regarding a $250 million bribe, as revealed by former Justice Minister Vijayadasa Rajapaksa. The CID reportedly submitted a confidential report to the Supreme Court. The issue remains unresolved, and Sri Lanka has still not received the compensation it is entitled to. Will compensation be paid? On the 24th of July 2025, the Supreme Court ordered the ship's operator to pay $1 billion in compensation for environmental and economic damage caused by the disaster. The court also directed that the payment be made within 1 year, with the first installment due by the 23rd of September 2025. The court further held that then Subject Minister Nalaka Godaheva and the Marine Environment Protection Authority violated fundamental rights by failing to prevent the disaster. The judgment was delivered by a 5-judge bench headed by Chief Justice Murthu Fernando, following several fundamental rights petitions filed by multiple parties, including Archbishop of Colombo Malcolm Cardinal Ranjit and the fishing communities affected by the disaster. According to the judgment, the compensation was to be paid to the Secretary to the Treasury. With only about a month remaining from the 1-year deadline, uncertainty still remains. What about the legal proceedings initiated in Singapore? Proceedings in Singapore are still ongoing, but the Attorney General's Department has stated that the case has now been laid by. This is reportedly due to a UK court order obtained by the shipping company limiting liability. It has also been revealed that large amounts of data and email from the vessel were allegedly deleted after the fire. Meanwhile, the salvage sections of the ship have already been removed. Is it really difficult to recover compensation in disasters of this scale? What do international cases show? In 2010, the Gulf of Mexico oil spill resulted in a $4 billion penalty for environmental damage in the United States. Do you remember when the Suez Canal was blocked? Compensation claims of around $550 million were paid. In those cases, settlements were reached relatively quickly without prolonged court battles, as parties cooperated and took timely action. Why is the Express Pearl case the only one that has unfolded differently? Did the Express Pearl disaster end up lining someone's pockets? Is that why Sri Lanka is still unable to secure fair compensation? These are matters that must be investigated. They need to be examined urgently. If there was corruption or deliberate cover-up that cost the country billions in compensation, those responsible must be held accountable.
Meanwhile, Samagijan Balawegya MP Attorney at Law Ajit P. Pereira says that the decision to take the Express Pearl case outside Sri Lanka is a highly suspicious process.
Sri Lankaවේ මේ නඩුව පැවරිය යුතු බවට
There were recommendations made by a team of 5 Sri Lankan experts who had a very strong understanding of maritime law and insurance law, stating that the case should be filed in Sri Lanka. Despite that, the case was taken and filed in Singapore. As a result, the case in Singapore has now completely collapsed and has been put on hold. Now, in this process, who was responsible for transferring the jurisdiction? Also, when parliamentary inquiries were being conducted on this matter, representatives from the Attorney General's Department stopped coming into Parliament. A very suspicious thing happened. There is also, on the face of it, evidence suggesting that corruption took place in this process.
දූෂණයක් සිදු වුණු බවටද බැලූ බැල්මට පෙනෙන සාක්ෂි තිබුණා.
The Sea of Sri Lanka. a focus of global attention, an invaluable blessing to our nation. Let us protect our motherland and guardian seas as we protect our very lungs.
The Sea of Sri Lanka.
Welcome back. 42 people were injured after an SLTB bus travelling from Colombo to Badulla fell off a precipice.
42 people were injured when an SLTB bus travelling from Colombo to Badulla veered off the road and fell over a precipice near the Diyatalawa railway station at around 1 a.m. today. Police said the bus, which was plying along the Badulla-Colombo main road, experienced a brake failure. The driver, attempting to regain control, turned onto the Diyatalawa railway station road, but the bus subsequently fell approximately 20 feet onto the railway tracks below. The injured were admitted to the Diyatalawa base hospital.
About 42 patients have been admitted so far, and one of them is being transferred to the Badulla hospital as a precaution. The remaining patients are stable, with several treated for minor injuries and abrasions.
Passengers who are currently receiving treatment described the moments leading up to the crash. In more local news, a stock of seized drugs for which all legal proceedings had been completed was destroyed today. The drugs were destroyed at the Lactovatta incinerator in Banathavilluwa, Uttala.
According to police, the destroyed drugs were contraband seized by the Police Narcotic Bureau during various raids, for which legal proceedings have been completed at the Negombo Magistrates Court. The consignment also includes drugs held by the Government Analysts Department, which courts across the country have ordered to be destroyed after the conclusion of the related cases. The destroyed stock included 13 kilograms and 22 grams of ice, 2 kilograms and 30 grams of cocaine, and 39 kilograms and 710 grams of kush. It also included 156 grams of heroin, 4 kilograms and 136 grams of cannabis and hashish, 1 kilogram and 200 grams of MDMA, and 26,262 narcotic pills.
Newsfirst, main sponsor.
2 countries, 2 degrees within 4 years. Call ACBT.
Watch the FIFA World Cup live, where the best football teams in the world come.
Ruhunu Maya Pusun Puja.
දොළොස් දහසක් මහරහතන් වහන්සේලා වැඩවිසූ කිරුවාපත්තුවේ ඓතිහාසික රම්බා විහාරයේ පැවැත්වෙන සිරස රුහුණු මායා.
Welcome back. The Sirasa Ruhunu Maya Poson Perahera program centered at the Mattala International Angirasa Buddhist Center commenced today.
The Sirasa Ruhunu Maya Poson zone is scheduled to be held from today until the 3rd of July.
The enshrining of sacred relics within the chamber of the Angirasa Buduguna Mahasaya and the pedestal of the Angirasa Sambuddha statue, currently under construction at the Mattala International Angirasa Buddhist Center in Ruhunu Magampattuwa, took place today. The event was graced by the Mahasangha, led by Most Venerable Varakagoda Sri Jnanaratana Thera, Mahanayaka of the Asgiri chapter of the Siam sect, Most Venerable Dimbul Kumure Vimala Dhamma Thera, Anunayaka of the Malwatu chapter of the Siam sect, Most Venerable Narampanave Ananda Thera, Anunayaka of the Asgiri chapter of the Siam sect, Most Venerable Karagoda Uyangoda Maitri Murti Thera, Mahanayaka of the Amarapura sect, Most Venerable Makulave Sri Vimala Thera, Mahanayaka of the Ramanya sect, and Venerable Vatura Kumbure Dhammaratana Thera, Chief Sanganayaka of the Ratnapura district. Ministers, parliamentarians and a large number of devotees also participated in this occasion. The Maharaja Media Network broadcast this grand meritorious event live for Buddhist devotees both local and international.
පන්සලක් ගඩලින් ගොඩ නැගෙනකොට ඒ ප්‍රදේශයේ ජනතාවගේ ආධ්‍යාත්මික ගුණ වගාව ඒ වගේම තමයි අධ්‍යාපනය ඒ වගේම තමයි ආර්ථිකය සහ කලාව කියන කාරණාවන් ස්පර්ශ කරමින් තමයි අපි පන්සල් ගොඩ නගන්නේ පන්සලක් ගොඩ නැගෙනවා කියන්නේ පළාත දියුණු වෙනවා කතරගම නිසා කතරගම කියලා නගරයක් ඇති වුණා කැලණිය නිසා කැලණිය කියලා නගරයක් ඇති වුණා ඒ නිසා පන්සලක් හැදෙනවා කියන්නේ පළාතේ ආධ්‍යාත්මය වගේම ආර්ථිකය වගේම සෑම අංගයක්ම දියුණු වෙන තැනක් තමයි පන්සලක් ගොඩ නැගෙනවායි කියලා කියන්නේ.
Following the main ceremony, the enshrining of relics in the Angirasa Buduguna Mahasaya took place. Starting today for 7 days from 9 a.m. to 10 p.m, devotees will have the opportunity to visit this location and enshrine sacred items in the chamber of the Angirasa Buduguna Mahasaya. The Sirasa Ruhunu Maha Poson Puja continues until the 3rd of July at the Angirasa International Buddhist Center. The Sirasa Ruhunu Maha Poson program began with the participation of Venerable Vatura Kumbure Dhammaratana Thera, Inspector General of Police, Attorney at Law Priyantha Veerasurya, Sirasa TV Director and Head of Religious Programs Dharma Shri Bandara Ekanayaka, among others. The Dhamma sermon was also conducted this afternoon, delivered by Venerable Katnorwe Siridhamma Thera. On the Poson Poya Day, arrangements have been made to hold a series of almsgiving, observing Sil and meditation programs at the Angirasa Buddhist Center. Additionally, the Sirasa Ramba Damsavi Poson Zone will be held at the Ambalantota Ramba Rajamaha Vihara on the 29th and 30th of June. The Sirasa Minipura Poson Zone will be held from the 29th of June to the 5th of July at the Ratnapura Saddharma Lankara Vidyayatana.
Now this year, the Sirasa Ruhunu Maya Poson Puja is being held across 3 sacred sites located in Ambalantota, Ratnapura and Mattala.
The events are being held at the Ratnapura Saddharma Lankara Vidyayatana, the Mattalangi Rasa International Buddhist Center and the Ambalantota Ramba Rajamaha Vihara.
Today, we turn our attention to the Ramba Vihara.
The Ramba Vihara is believed to have been constructed during the era when Prince Mahanaga, a brother of King Devanampiyatissa, governed Magama. The Ramba Vihara also served as the headquarters for King Vijayabhu I's campaign to liberate the country from the Cholas. Archaeological excavations have led to the discovery of 26 buildings at the site and unearthed numerous artifacts, including coins dating back to the Polonnaruwa period.
Through the archaeological remains, we have found evidence that this monastic complex was built in a highly sophisticated and luxurious manner, equipped with all the facilities required for a religious center of that era, including a chamber for statues, Bodhi tree shrines, assembly halls, ponds, and residential quarters.
The Ruhunu Maya Poson Puja will be conducted from the Ramba Vihara on the 29th of June and the 30th of June.
Watch the FIFA World Cup live
where the best football teams in the world compete. Live matches, Rewind TV, highlights, reels. Watch it all for free. Download the Pure mobile app now.
Welcome back. Judin Sindhujan from Sri Lanka has been selected as one of the 6 representatives for Ireland in an international youth development project funded by the European Union. Judin Sindhujan from Sri Lanka has been selected as one of the 6 representatives for Ireland in the Long-Term Innovative Volunteering Engine Project or LIVE project, an initiative funded by the European Union. The program is coordinated by the Talentum Foundation and includes youth and volunteer sector activists from Hungary, Ireland, France and Poland. This initiative is designed to strengthen international cooperation and youth engagement through promoting the exchange of experiences between countries, enhancing volunteer services and strengthening the social participation of young people. Currently, Judin Sindhujan is participating in an international training and empowerment workshop being held in Hungary representing Ireland. Judin Sindhujan brings a wealth of experience to this international platform, having previously served as a news reporter and news anchor for Newsfirst and a participant of Gammadda.
A vibrant community initiative celebrating local entrepreneurship and culture was successfully held in Colombo today.
A special community-driven event organized by Mother Sri Lanka and the Korte Green Tourism Network titled Love Sri Lanka Pop-Up Edition was held in Colombo today, promoting local entrepreneurship, tourism and cultural identity. The initiative created a vibrant public space that brought together small and medium-scale entrepreneurs, giving them a platform to showcase locally made products and services. The event also focused on strengthening community engagement and promoting sustainable tourism practices. A range of stalls, cultural showcases, and interactive community activities were featured throughout the day, drawing a large and diverse crowd.
A spectacular Russian classical ballet concert featuring students of the Russian School of Ballet and Dancing took place today at the Nelumpokuna Mahinda Rajapaksa Theatre in Colombo.
Once upon a silver stage, Russian classical ballet concert was held today at the Nelumpokuna Mahinda Rajapaksa Theatre. The event was organized by the Russian House in Colombo, marking the 25th anniversary of the Russian School of Ballet and Dancing and the 70th anniversary of diplomatic relations between the Russian Federation and Sri Lanka. The concert featured performances by approximately 690 students from the Russian School of Ballet and Dancing, showcasing classical ballet pieces that highlighted discipline, precision, and artistic storytelling. The performance was staged as a large-scale cultural celebration, bringing together students, instructors, and audiences in a tribute to both artistic heritage and diplomatic friendship.
And in an update from the situation of the conflict in the Middle East, Iran and the United States have traded attacks in the Gulf once again, raising fears that the fragile ceasefire between the two countries is unraveling.
Iran's Islamic Revolutionary Guard coup said they had hit U.S. sites in the Gulf in retaliation for U.S. attacks on Iranian missile, drone and radar facilities, themselves a response to what Washington said was an Iranian drone attack on a cargo ship in the Strait of Hormuz.
We now cross over to Teruni Karunapta for the latest developments. Teruni.
Thank you, Viara and Krishan. The United Kingdom Maritime Trade Operations said that a tanker had been struck in the Strait of Hormuz today. The captain of the tanker said the vessel was struck by an unidentified projectile. Meanwhile, Hezbollah Secretary General Naim Qassem said Hezbollah rejects the framework agreement reached between Israel and Lebanon in Washington, D.C., saying it should be replaced by the Iran-US Memorandum of Understanding.
In a separate incident on Thursday, Taiwanese shipping company Evergreen Marine said that its cargo ship, the Everlovely, was hit by an unknown object off Oman. It was this alleged Iranian drone attack that prompted the US military to launch attacks on Iranian missile, drone and radar facilities. President Donald Trump accused Iran of a foolish violation of its truce following the attack on the Everlovely cargo ship in the Strait of Hormuz. U.S. Central Command said it had struck missile and drone storage facilities and coastal radar positions yesterday. It said the strikes were in response for a drone attack on the Everlovely cargo ship on Thursday, which has now led to the halting of planned evacuations of thousands of sailors stuck in the region. Tehran said the cargo ship was attacked because it was using an unauthorized route to transit through the vital Gulf waterway. U.S. Central Command or CENTCOM described the strikes as a powerful response to the drone attack a day earlier. It said in a statement, quote-unquote, the unwarranted aggression against commercial shipping by Iranian forces clearly violated the ceasefire. Meanwhile, J.D. Vance said that to somehow tackle the tensions in the Strait of Hormuz, a line of communication has been established between the United States and Iran. But the IRGC today has said that there is no such communication line. It is not established and will not be. The U.S. State Department shared the text of the framework deal that was reached earlier in Washington, D.C. The second point in the framework states that the government of both Israel and Lebanon commit to a reciprocal sequence process, under which the Lebanese military will restore effective sovereign authority over all Lebanese territory. Hezbollah Secretary General Naim Qassem has said the group will continue its armed struggle despite the latest agreement between Lebanon and Israel. Qassem said, quote-unquote, we will continue a resistance in the field to defeat the occupation. He also said that Hezbollah rejects the framework agreement reached between Israel and Lebanon in Washington, D.C., saying it should be replaced by the Iran-US Memorandum of Understanding.
Shifting your attention to South America now, the death toll in the Venezuelan earthquakes has risen to more than 900 people, with another 3,360 reported to be injured. Rescuers are working around the clock in search of the survivors, while families await desperately for any sign of good news.
Rescuers are racing against time in Venezuela 3 days after two powerful earthquakes struck, with at least 920 people confirmed, 1,000 still missing. Among those rescued was a newborn baby who was reunited with family in an emotional rescue, sparking cheers from relief workers. The twin magnitude 7.2 and 7.5 quakes hit less than a minute apart on Wednesday, devastating the coastal area around La Guaira, where authorities moved on Friday night to restrict access as chaos in traffic began to hamper search efforts. The injured are being treated in makeshift medical facilities after dozens of buildings in the country's north were destroyed by the two quakes, including in the capital Caracas. New footage showing the moments immediately following the quakes have now emerged. The footage shows dust rising and people gathering on the streets of Caracas, taking stock of the damage and comforting one another. Venezuela's acting president, Delcy Rodriguez, said she's hopeful that teams will still find survivors of the deadly earthquakes. And in sports news, it's football. The excitement of the 2026 FIFA World Cup continued today as well.
Amit Rabikon joins us with the news details.
Thank you, Vihara and Krishan. Yes, indeed, the action continued at one of the world's largest sporting events, the 2026 FIFA World Cup. Now, 4 teams managed to secure entry to the next round of the tournament. Let's take a look at who made it through. Now, the 4 teams booked their places in the round of 32 following today's matches in the 2026 FIFA World Cup. For the first time in history, Cape Verde advanced to the second round of a FIFA World Cup after a draw against Saudi Arabia, securing second place in top of Group H and qualifying for the round of 32. With this defeat, Uruguay was eliminated . Has scored a hat-trick in the first half of a World Cup match since 1994. Now tomorrow, 2 matches each from Group L, K and J will take place, marking the conclusion of the group stage. The official broadcasting rights for the 2026 FIFA World Cup in Sri Lanka are held by the Maharaja Media Network. All matches will be broadcast live on Sirasa TV and TV1.
Let's now take a look at some news from the school's rugby arena, where Trinity College Kandy won the Inter-School Rugby League Cup champions, while St. Joseph's College Colombo 10 were crowned plate champions of the Inter-School League Rugby Tournament.
Let's take a look.
Trinity College Kandy were crowned as the Inter-School Rugby League champions earlier this evening, defeating St. Peter's College Bambalapitia 20-7 in the final match of the tournament, sealing their top position in the standings. This marks their 7th championship win and their 2nd consecutive title. In the match played at St. Peter's College grounds in Bambalapitia, Trinity College scored 2 tries, 2 conversions and 2 penalty kicks. St. Peter's College managed to secure only 1 try and 1 conversion. With 29 bonus points, Trinity College claimed the Cup Championship, while runner-up honours went to Zahira College Colombo, who secured 22 points. St. Peter's College Bambalapitia finished 3rd in the Cup Championship standings, while Isipathana College Colombo finished 4th. Meanwhile, St. Joseph's College Colombo 10 won the plate championship of the Inter-School League Rugby Tournament. They achieved this by defeating Sri Sumangala College Kandy. The match played at Bogambara Stadium in Kandy ended with St. Joseph's College winning 31-26. The Josephians scored 5 tries and 3 conversions. In reply, Sri Sumangala College scored only 4 tries and 3 conversions.
And that's a wrap of your news for tonight.
Thank you for watching. Take care, good night, and God bless you.